Hi, I guess we're on. I don't know what's going on tonight, but Rob is not with us. He is probably asleep somewhere. But we've got Caitlin and JD here with me as always. I was not here last week, but I agree with them and everything that they said about last week's episode.
We're just
gonna go with that.
How do you feel about Itchy?
About what?
Itchy.
Itchy?
He's one of the characters from the Star Wars special. We talked a lot about him too.
Is that the super creepy one?
Yes, that's the grandfather one.
Cool. I feel like I regret my decision to agree to watch this live on a watch along. That's how I feel. Yeah.
No, it's all about Lumpy.
Yes.
I didn't like that one either. I didn't like that one either.
It's just all that. I mean, that whole thing is just all weird. But here we are, getting ready for episode 14. We've got, including tonight's episode, we've got 3 episodes left. Without rehashing last week, not a lot really happens. So what are you guys hoping to get out of tonight's episode?
Plot movement.
Stuffs.
Do you think we're gonna run into like Crosshair? Or do you think he's gonna be left for the finale? We're in the end game now.
Yeah, we're in the final 3 episodes. I feel like we should be running into people that it's either like a big guest star that's gonna lead to something, or just fully go into the Crosshair and Camino and all that craziness and figure out what's going on with Omega and everything. So I'm hoping we do that. I believe this is supposed to be called War Mantle, according to that Reddit leak from a while ago. So I wouldn't mind if we saw like Bo-Katan or something with that, because there were rumors that she was going to appear in this season. And at this point, I'm kind of like, it's either now or never, I would assume.
Yeah. I mean, unless she comes in to help in the finale for something.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. This season's been really like hit or miss. Like there have been a lot of really good episodes and a few really good standalone episodes, but there's also just been a lot of why is this here?
It's too episodic. They're stuck in neutral.
Yeah, like before we went online, you and I were talking about how this last episode could have been like episode 7 or 6 or 7 or 8 or somewhere in there, when we were still kind of like setting up the relationship with Sid, because this would have helped solidify them as, hey, we're actually friends now. We're not just like work buddies or whatever.
Or like hostages.
Yeah. So I don't know. If you had asked me like 6 episodes ago how I thought the season was going to end, my answer would be a lot different than it is now. Because my answer now is I have no idea. I don't know what they're edging towards for the finale. Do you guys have like any ideas about what that might be now? And is your answer now, like me, different than what it was earlier in the season?
I mean, at this point, I'm just hoping they actually have some sort of like big epic finale. I almost don't care what it is.
What, JD?
Yeah, I think like it's definitely different than what I thought in the beginning, because I thought all this stuff, but now I'm just like, maybe they're just gonna end like that episode of like Firefly where they're just floating in space. That's what they're doing right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it ended.
Which character turns into the spaceship?
That has to be Omega, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. Or Wrecker. I don't know. He seems very...
I would love if it was Wrecker so much. It's like, they're like, Wrecker, here's the plan. What? I'm the spaceship now. What you gonna do? And they're all just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I could I could totally see that
I
happening.
would probably enjoy that at least.
Love that. That'd be a great episode. Just Record trying to pretend he's a spaceship and everyone else being like, yeah, this is working. No.
And it's like it's Bosk who's in there trying to figure it out.
So I want to turn to the chat. We got Donnie Pearson and Toku Kid are there. At least they're chatting. I don't know if there's anyone else that's watching. If you are, say hi. Let us know that you're here. But I want to ask you guys watching, Donnie, Toku, whoever else, let us know what your thoughts are here too. Like let me know what whether your idea of what the season was going to be is different now than it was at the beginning. If you were in the same place that you were, and what you're thinking about the season so far. It's definitely going in a, like you said, episodic. I was expecting more of a serialized storyline where it would be a continuing story from week to week. We're getting that sort of, but we're just getting more filler than I had anticipated too.
Yeah, we talked a little bit last episode about kind of coming off of the final season of Clone Wars and very much marketing yourself as the successor of Clone Wars and kind of that feel to it. And really just even coming off the pilot episode of this, it feels like they dropped the ball a little bit where they really should have maybe gone with arcs that were multiple episodes or had like kind of through lines that we felt more clearly throughout the season, because right now the through line is like it'll pop up really rarely, like once in a while, but it's not like teasing it every turn. I feel like, because the final season of Clone Wars, like you had 4 episode arcs and they were worked really well. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of the middle one. Personally, I like it, and I understand why people were less happy about that one. But like the first and last of those arcs were just spectacular. And then you go to the pilot episode for this, and the animation is amazing. You have drama, you have action, you have like the camaraderie, you have some like good humor and mystery. Like you had all these elements, and then it very quickly kind of fell into the trap of we can't make a decision because we don't want to pick a side. So we're just going to like stand still and hope it works out, which has gotten really old really fast.
Yeah, well, I think my thing is like comparing this to like other sci-fi shows, like or even like just Monster of the Week type shows. I watched all 15 seasons of Supernatural. There's Fringe, which kind of grew into something different than it was when it started. Lost, even like shows like that, like even if they were episodic, like when Supernatural started, it was Monster of the Week every single week, but there was an overall storyline for the season, and even the filler episodes had at least a minute to a minute and a half at the end that touched on whatever that overarching story was, just to let us know, hey, this stuff is still going on. This is where it's going to pick up next week. And I think Batman the Brave and the Bold kind of did that well. With they would have like a 4-minute cold open that was one story, and then some of those would link together across the entire season, but then the actual episode of the show was just like a one-off story that had nothing to do with anything else. So this, to me, it just kind of feels like it doesn't know whether it wants to be episodic or serialized or that hybrid model. It's flat out going from serialized to episodic to serialized with no real mesh holding it together.
Yeah. I feel like it got a little lost because Star Wars is at its best when it is like war, So Clone Wars works really well because it has that war story as a backdrop. Rebels works really well because it has that like rebellion as the backdrop. And it feels like here, because it's an era we haven't really explored, and because you don't have the war feeling to it yet, it's more of like the creeping, like knowing what's going to happen. I feel like they didn't really know what to do with it. And it's something I was really looking forward to, and I think a lot of fans were looking forward to. And it's been consistently in the episodes. It just hasn't been as prominent to the story because these characters are disconnected from it so heavily that even though we've seen like hints of the Empire rising to power and taking over the galaxy throughout, I think almost every episode, even if it's just something very small, like the episode where they are fighting against the slavers, and the slavers kind of have that line of, well, the Republic's gone, so we can go back to doing what we want now. But
Right.
because these characters aren't connected in any way to fighting the Empire, joining the Empire, like, or anything, because they don't have to pick a side, but they could be taking odd jobs and kind of trying to find their place. But because they're not doing that, it feels like not as, like, it doesn't resonate as well.
I think one of the other, like, to compare this to another Star Wars show, like if you take The Mandalorian was more or less an episodic show. Each episode, he was on a different job for the most part, but he had a mission. From the first episode through that final episode of season 2, we knew what his goal was throughout each episode. He was taking these jobs to further get him down the line to accomplish taking care of the child and getting it to where it needed to be. In this, they don't have a goal. Like, these guys are just kind of like wandering aimlessly, and that's very. I don't want to say that that's on that's the reason that the show is the way it is, because it doesn't feel like it's being done that way on purpose. Like, I feel like if it was being done that way on purpose, I wouldn't feel the way I do about it.
I don't think it's done on purpose in the sense of like, okay, it's going to feel aimless because they're aimless. I think it's just because they are aimless, the show feels like it doesn't have the direction that we expect. So I would say that is definitely a big part of it. But it's not like a decision they made where they were like, we want this to be how the show feels. I think it's just kind of more of a result.
It's a side effect, not a feature.
Yeah.
Toku in the chat says, I'm just losing interest as each episode is coming out. It feels like nothing is really happening outside the premiere and the Cad Bane episode and the episode with the chips.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I like the episodes partially because I like these, like, Wrecker a lot, and I've been enjoying Omega more as the season has gone on, and I enjoy exploring this universe of Star Wars and seeing the Empire build up. So there's still elements that are going to pull me in, and like seeing Cad Bane or seeing Rex, I'm always going to be
a lot of the standalone episodes, like, they weren't bad. It just didn't do anything. Like, if this was a story that didn't feel like it needed to have a direction, like if it was just, like, if we knew for a fact that it was just an episodic, hey, these guys are mercenaries and they're just taking jobs, it'd be fine. Yeah. It's the fact that we do have this overall mystery that's just not getting the attention we collectively feel like it deserves, that I think it just kind of loses it. I saw Shay just posted in the chat that the episode is up, and it is indeed titled War Mantle. The description here is, after receiving a mysterious distress call, the Bad Batch tracks it to a secret facility. So
Bo-Katan, please.
I'm hoping. Now, like, I don't know that I have the same, like, I personally don't care whether it's Bo-Katan or not, just because I don't have that same connection to the character, but it sounds like it's going to be important in some way. That, like, the fact that this is a distress call, it seems like it's going to dig into something.
Or Rex. I'll take Rex.
JD, do you have any predictions on that front? Who is the distress call from?
So I have no idea. I'm gonna just put out. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know. I'll say Bale. How about that? Let's go with
Bail Organa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Cad Bane. He's like, we became such good friends last time.
That would actually be kind of funny. Or the guy who lost his horn, Roland.
Yeah. He's like, it worked so well when we worked together before.
I didn't know who else to turn to, so help me out.
It's Hera, and she's like, oh, now you help? Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get this episode queued up here on my end. If you guys watching would like to do the same, we will get started in just a moment. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Right.
Ready.
Caitlin's ready. You guys watching are ready. I'm going to assume that given the time delay, that by the time you see this, it's going to be a yes. So I'm going to go ahead and count down in 3, 2, 1, play. I really do dig this intro, though. Nothing else that's good.
I would love if it was Chopper and he just spends the whole episode like hitting them. Could be Crosshair too, like tricking them.
Have we gotten like a title card saying what the name of the episode is ahead of the show previously?
Yeah,
okay.
That's every episode.
I've never paid attention to that part, though.
Good job. 14 episodes in. Is this normal?
We've done this before? Maybe, yeah.
Oh,
That's
is that
The wolf? Or
is that
Gregor?
Hauser?
Oh, maybe. I see the side of his face.
I can't see his hair.
I know, right?
I think his hair is too slick back for it to be
Yeah, I
Hauser.
don't think so. Because like Hauser had like a scar too, didn't he?
I don't remember.
He had like that spiky hair, like in the front type thing.
His
Oh
hair
yeah,
looked
like
cool.
shaved on the sides and longer on top.
Yeah.
Like a faux hawk. Okay, since
They
when
just
can you
stunned his
get
legs.
stunned in the leg? That has never happened on Star Wars.
That wasn't Rex, was it?
That was not Rex. Rex is blonde.
What I thought.
This is probably a clone that he's helping. Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be Wolf then. Can we go follow Rex? I don't know what he's doing. CC. What did he say? CC 576.
What it sounded like.
Tell him, Echo.
Gregor,
It's Gregor.
I think, because he's CC 557639.
The name sounds familiar. Have we seen him before in the show?
Yeah. In this show, no, we saw him in Clone Wars, but we did talk about him earlier in the season because he's one of the clones we meet in Rebels who had his chip removed.
Oh, right. I remember talking about that now.
Similar to
Ooh, Camino.
Echo, we thought he blew up. Yeah, Camino and the Empire. Where has this been for what?
4 or 5 episodes.
8 episodes? Oh, I guess we might find out what happens to the Kaminoans.
Yeah.
Wipe them out.
Huh.
These are the little clones.
Yeah.
They do that in like the first episode.
They were talking about it in the first episode. I don't think they actually confirmed it. I think.
They're gonna go to their other planet, be like, "Who busted open the clone thing?" Oh my gosh, we finally have Echo being a character.
See how long it lasts.
That was probably all of it.
It's probably got like one more line, maybe.
Maybe. Why can't we join Rex? Because I said so. That's it. That was Echo's time.
I mean, I do like that Omega is thoroughly embedded with the group now, though.
I like that. My complaint is they're all in full on like armor and tactical gear.
Yeah, she's dressed like this.
Yeah, like if anyone goes near her, she will die and they will be fine. How can you tell, Hunter? I have not slept. I'm so like slap happy right now.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I was gonna have a cookie a little while ago because I bought some over the weekend, but they've all been affecting me in completely different ways. So I was like, it's probably not a good idea.
Would have been the best idea for the stream.
It may have been. Shay's eating one in the background there.
Him eating the giant bucket of noodles just killed me.
I'm one sitting on the other side of the monitor.
That's amazing.
Haven't opened mine yet because I was like, I don't want to eat that on the stream.
Rocks. Sorry.
You said it before I could.
Oh, they're like, Wrecker, our muscle, go back to the ship. We don't need you in a fight where there's taking down clones. It'll be fine. Good planning, strategist.
Oh, it's because they need him to save him later.
I mean, the cinematography in this episode is really good, though.
I
Like so far,
know.
like all the set, the scenery, and everything. Yeah, like the focus pull that they just did. Like all this is it's looking really good.
For as annoyed as we get with these episodes, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really had any complaints about the animation or the visuals. Like this is just spectacular. You have like you can see the details in the closer areas right now where it's kind of blurred in the background. It very much feels like what you would have in a live action feel and look to it. But the colors are just so rich.
Yeah, it's just like very like vibrant.
Mhm. Oh my god, do they have jetpacks?
It looks like they have different stuff.
That's your whole thing.
I know that he's still alive.
Yeah, right? My god, Echo has character. And he's also reminding them that this is a suicide mission. Yeah, man, all your missions are suicide missions.
I was gonna say, like, they feel like they should be the Suicide Squad of the Star Wars universe.
They are. Like, literally, when they were introduced, it was they have 100% success rate and they take all the missions that are impossible. Like, the fact that they're so cowardly in this has been really annoying to me.
Agreed.
So they're your backup, but you can't contact them. Cool. Yeah, it totally makes sense for them to be out of visual range. That'll go well. I feel like Hunter's plans have gotten worse throughout the season.
Yeah. And that Stormtrooper armor is looking a little bit closer to like the
Yeah.
the original trilogy era armor.
The original trilogy error armor. It was an error because it, like, anyone that got shot while wearing it died instantly. I will say.
Well, I mean, we
I
now
love-
know that they're just trying to save money
Yeah.
by not having the clone, so it's not surprising that they would skimp out on the armor too.
Oh, I loved in Rebels, like, it's established that Stormtrooper armor is a lower quality than Clone Trooper armor, and it's established that the helmets are almost impossible to see out of, and that's why their aim
They can't
sucks.
shoot. Yeah, it's great.
It's so great because Rex literally is like, I can't see in this thing, rips the helmet off, throws it, whacks a different Stormtrooper in the head, and then shoots him. This is the most lines that Echo has had in this entire series. I feel like this has to be Gregor, just the way he said captain right there. Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're right.
He had his crazy Gregor laugh just there. So the reason Gregor's ship isn't working could be that he was at one point injured and had amnesia, and then after that got blown up.
Oh, that might do it.
Yeah. Because when Gregor turned out to be alive in Rebels, everyone was like, didn't he blow up? It's like, yeah, a
Are
little
those
bit.
the captains like Delta Squad clones?
Maybe. Yeah, that's Gregor's voice, all right. It's so weird, but I love it. Do you love his laugh?
It's great.
Yep. Yeah, Tech. Gosh. Aren't you the smart one?
I like the blue glow in that one dude's visor.
I do too. It looks cool.
Yeah. They were in a video game.
Mm.
I can't remember what it is, but they were like Delta Squad or something. There was like 4 of them. I think they were briefly in one of the Clone Wars episodes.
Yeah, that might have been one of the Battlefront games.
Oh, these are full-on stormtroopers.
That makes sense.
Why none of them have been shot?
Why we're less concerned about if they do get shot.
When did they move to just stunning everyone?
I think they've been doing that the whole.
Yeah, they've been doing that the whole season.
Yeah.
Did those 3 even try to shoot?
No.
Didn't
I do like that alarm sound too.
Yeah. It's been used in like other Star Wars stuff. It's very cool.
I'm also expecting a mouse droid to just kind of like roll by.
Right?
Christian Omar, thanks for joining us. We are still in the middle of the episode. We're about this is not telling me how far in we are.
16 and a half minutes.
There you go. 16 and a half, 2 minutes in. We've got about 12 minutes left.
Hmm.
Just they're kind of oblivious to everything else that's happening.
Yeah, they're doing great. Do you think the light in the visor messes with their vision? Because I feel like it would.
I guess it depends on what its purpose is.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a
cool.
night vision thing, then probably not.
Hey, Gregor just got shot. One of them got lucky. No, that's definitely Delta Squad.
There we go.
Bless you.
Thank you. Stealth, thy name is Tech. Is Wrecker a good pilot?
We're about to
I
find
would
out.
assume no, but I guess we'll find out. That's
Anyone
even
else
better.
want to
Omega's
yell?
flying.
Anyone else want to yell? It's the one-armed man. It didn't look like Wrecker was shooting stuns.
No. Bye, teammates.
It's fine.
Oh my God! The stormtroopers hit the target. The
But
wrong
it was
one,
the wrong target, so
but
that
they
made
still
sense.
hit it.
Uh-oh.
Come on, Gorky? Gonky. We need you, Gonky. This is your moment. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a power.
That's
droid.
right. He's a charger.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
Totally forgot about
Like,
that.
a portable charger that just walks and follows me. That'd be great.
Right? The only
You could sit on top of it and let it like take you places.
The only negative is it looks like a garbage can, so you'd have people like walking over and trying to chuck stuff in it.
Oh,
I saw that. I was like, I bet it'll miss.
oops.
Oh,
Bro, I don't know how useful your magical tech knife is gonna be. Gonky, no!
It's fine.
Are they gonna crash into Hunter?
They might leave him behind.
Oof. Mutiny.
Never tell me the odds.
and they suck at flying too.
What are those like dog lizard things? Or dinosaur things?
I don't know.
I think they've been in Star Wars before. I just don't remember what they are.
Okay. They do look kind of like a smaller version of something that would have been in the gladiator ring in Genesis.
They kind of look like mini dewbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme.
Wow, you're a jerk. A politician, I do not.
Uh-oh.
Bye-bye. Is it gonna be flamethrower dude again?
They didn't show it. That's interesting.
I guess we
I
know
thought
it.
they were gonna have the blaster fire.
Yeah, I did
Like
too.
after closed. I hope he gets all. Oh, forgot he got captured.
It's Crosshair. Yo, his head is like concave now. Dun dun dun. All right. Well, that got us moving.
Okay. But is it too late in the season?
A little bit. I mean, I'm going to be kind of annoyed if we get a redemption. Like, if they save Crosshair in the final episode, which I feel like they would, I'm kind of like, it doesn't feel earned.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. So overall thoughts. JD, let's start with you.
I thought it was a good episode. It's kind of pretty much everything we wanted for the last, I don't know, season.
12 weeks.
Yeah. So, and it touched on like stuff that like we know is gonna happen. So it kind of did that. Kind of did everything, right? Because it brought someone we know from another series. Yeah,
Crazy.
and Rex too briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Is this place? I was thinking, is this place the same place as the one that's in the Mandalorian? Except this place has a bunch of trees.
I don't think it's the same planet.
It kind of has that same
same type
side
of thing.
the
It looks
mountain,
like.
thing.
I don't think it's necessarily the same planet, but I do think it's probably the standard what they're setting up on these planets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and I mean, like I said, it's doing everything. Like it shows that like they're training new stormtroopers. They all still suck. So that's the same constant
now,
all the series.
Now we know why, because the clones training them were like, let's train them to be subpar.
I mean, that makes sense though. Like, if you're training your replacement, you're like, I'm gonna do a shitty job at training this guy.
Yeah. This is like washing the dishes and not doing.
Or training a replacement that you didn't ask for
after you get fired or something.
Yeah. He's like, I've trained people at jobs that were replacing me because I was moving on to other things, and that's fine. I couldn't imagine someone telling me, hey, we're going to let you go, but before you go, can you train the new guy who's taking your place? Like, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I love that you felt the need to clarify in case anyone who took over jobs that you'd had in the past was like, wait, he trained me bad on purpose? What?
I doubt any of them are watching this show. But maybe.
It was so funny.
Caitlin, so what about you? I'm assuming you enjoyed this episode more than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, Gregor's hilarious in Rebels when he's like full on crazy, and we got that here. And I guess it answers the question of how did he get crazy? The explosion did it. He's got the weirdest voice and laugh, and I thought it was very cool that they brought that in as early as they did. Yeah, I mean, bye clone troopers. It's gonna be interesting. I hope that really comes to like a head in the next 2 episodes, and then the fact that it looks like they're kind of grabbing the Kaminoan scientists that are useful, and then maybe the rest of them. That's an interesting development. I like it though, because it fits that strategic vibe of the Empire. I know that Rob was really hoping for some like all-out war.
Right.
But I feel like the Empire is a little more on top of their game than being like, oh no, what do we do now?
Yeah, I mean, this episode was basically everything that I've been asking for the, like I said, for the past like 6 weeks. It caught us up on what was going with on Kamino, and what their status within the Empire is. We finally got a face-to-face with Crosshair at the end of the episode with one of them. And now that Hunter is caught, like obviously that gives the Bad Batch a mission now. So now we know what they're going to be doing for the next 2 episodes, more or less.
Never expected it to be Hunter they had to rescue. I think we all kind of assumed it would be Omega.
Yeah.
So that's a cool flip. I'm interested if Hunter is going to use this opportunity to try and suss out how far gone Crosshair is and if he can save him. Because we haven't really seen them grapple with that as much as I would have liked. So if we really have that happen in this next episode, I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that they're going to at least try. Like I think Omega, if nothing else, Omega would push them to be like maybe he's not all bad, and like he's being controlled by the chip. Like she I because she's kind of like the moral center of the group.
Yeah.
Like she's the one last week that pushed them to help Sid, um, or before Sid just showed up on the ship. And like she's the one that's kind of not determining what they do, but she's a large factor in helping them make decisions about what missions they're going to be taking.
Yeah.
And like kind of like nudges them along to make the right decision. I am a little disappointed in how things are working out with the Kaminoans. Like I'm glad that got touched upon, but now when are we going to find out what's going on with Omega? Like that's the scientist got taken away, so she's not the one that got killed. But if she's working for the Empire, how is she going now? How is she going to do whatever it is that she wanted to do with Omega? So I'm a little not concerned, but confused and interested in finding out how that storyline is going to play going forward.
Honestly, I would guess that the Omega stuff isn't gonna get resolved this season.
No, that's fairly obvious, I think.
Yeah.
Unless that scientist figures out a way to escape, because she is the one that was talking with what's her
Fennec.
name? Fennec. So if she's able to somehow contact Fennec to rescue her, I mean, maybe that's going to be a thing. Maybe she's going to somehow figure out a way to contact Fennec. Fennec knows how to contact the Bad Batch. So maybe it's going to be like a whole like mercenary, like, okay, we're all going to go in and save Hunter because we need to do this because of whatever. So that could be really interesting for that final episode.
That'd be great if we saw them team up with Fennec, especially if it came to a moment where there was like, we have our own allies that we can ask, and she goes, who? And they just have to stand there because they don't.
Right. Because it would be, I think that would be interesting too, because like Fennec would come in and be like, hey, we gotta, like, I need your help. We need to go rescue, what was her name?
I want to say Lama Sue or
Lama Sue. Yeah. I think that's right.
I think.
And they're like, well, we have to go rescue Hunter, so they have to decide which one they're going to go do first, and then go on from there. And that could also lead them to Bo-Katan somehow, maybe.
I'm gonna guess she's not showing up this season, and that rumor was false. I don't know, unless it's like essentially what they did here with Crosshair, and unless they do that in like the finale, I don't see how she could show up in a way that would make sense.
Makes sense.
Right.
I hope they reveal like what the thing with Omega is like in the last episode, like as the last thing that will lead into the second season.
Yeah, that's really all I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could be going through the research or something like that, find something out or something like that, or
she left, like the scientist left like one of those holodisc things that has like her experiment log or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like any of that. Who's the team leader now?
Omega.
Yeah, it kind of would have to be.
You think it would be Echo? Because like he's an ARC trooper.
Yeah, except none of them listen to Echo.
That's true.
Like I kind of feel like Tech would try and take command,
but he'd be bad at it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So would Wrecker. I mean, like we didn't even like put Wrecker out there as a possibility.
No.
Wrecker was like taking a nap.
He was charging up.
I could also see them making contact with Sid and seeing if Sid is able to pull anyone in to help, like calling a favor or something.
Or
Rex.
Yeah. Or Rex, yeah.
Hauser.
In jail. Hey, Hauser, I know we didn't warn you about the chip thing before you got arrested, but can you help us?
Yeah. So we're going to save Hauser to save Hunter to save Lamase.
We got in the chat Kasone Chanthachek. hope I pronounced that right. And Emmett. So they're talking about Scorch. Someone says that Scorch is badass in this episode, and Emmett says that Scorch really ran fade with Tech and won. I think, like, honestly, this is one of the better episodes that we've had recently. Like, I really enjoyed the stuff on Rylos.
Yeah.
But
Rylos is great.
Just because this pushed the needle for the overall story, I think I liked this episode a little bit better than I would say as a whole. Those two episodes that focus on that.
Well, it's set up now. Like, Hunter's missing, Crosshair has him, Gregor's with the clones. They'll be contacting Rex in some capacity, even if it's just to let them know that they have Gregor. So it has set up a lot of interesting possibilities with, like, the clones, not even including any of the Omega stuff.
Yeah. What do you think Crosshair's plans are for Hunter? Because obviously he said that he wanted the whole batch. We know that's what he was going after. Do you think he's going to try and use Hunter as bait to get them, or do you think he's just going to try and interrogate him, or something else?
I could see him start by interrogating him and then decide to use him for bait. I could also see him having to report back to, because he is still kind of under the chip's control, so I could see him having to report back to that guy that's kind of in charge and be like,
Admiral Rampart?
Yeah, where he's like, I got this one, what do you want me to do? And I feel like Rampart would be like, all right, let's set a trap, because we've seen him do that before.
Right.
That makes sense.
I don't know, like I feel like this episode was also, like, really straightforward. I didn't, I mean, obviously I haven't seen the previous season, so I didn't notice any Easter eggs in it. Did you guys pick up on anything?
The commanders were clone commandos, which was, like, first shown in Delta Squad. It was a clone commando.
Was that the guy with the blue light?
Any of them with that like
the
yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, I think in the video game there's 4 different ones. They all have names. So, but I don't think they're the only clone commandos in the army or whatever. So these could be just the other ones. I don't remember what episode they showed up in, though. But it was like a brief thing at the end of the episode. They were just walking off the ship ramp or something like that.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Filoni just wanted to add it in somehow. I thought they were connected to the ARC troopers in some way, but I don't think that is correct. But yeah, that's, like, the biggest Easter egg that I saw.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an Easter egg, but, like, Gregor was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. For me, like we were talking about this during the episode, just like how the visuals in the show is just really good. And one of the things that stuck out here, like, I know we've seen it before, but in this episode it really kind of came out for me, was on Camino. When you look at everything outside, it's all dingy, it's gray, it's raining, it's wet, all over. But then inside, everything was, like, pristine and white. Like, it felt very like medical.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense for a research base, but just, like, that stark contrast of how it looked outside, the vibrant colors that we got on the planet, just the colors of the clone troopers or the Bad Batch's uniforms, like how they're all dark and everything, and then this was just white, different shades of white, but it was all just kind of, like, white. And, like, that even came in when the sword troopers or the clone troopers, whichever ones it were, at the end, when they captured Lama Su, and they're like, oh well, we need a scientist, but we don't really need a politician. The 2 guys that stayed in were their armor was like that, like, dingy gray color.
Yeah, like the Death Trooper style.
Yeah. Not like that dark black, but it was just like a gray.
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of fed into the we're about to get dirty type of feeling. Like we knew that they were gonna kill
wasn't it, like, kind of the same color as when they went to go hunt the
Saw Gerrera's guys.
Saw Gerrera's guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I literally because the guy with the flamethrower was still there, and I was like, "Are we gonna see him flamethrow this dude inside the building?" That feels like a lot. No, he's just walking around with a flamethrower.
It's intimidating.
Mhm.
I know if someone was walking towards me with a flamethrower, I'd be like, I'm gonna go to the other side of the street.
They're all like, "What's your weapon of choice?" and have all these different guns, and he's just like, "Flamethrower."
Another visual that I thought was really cool is I never noticed that until this episode here is that the Kaminoans their eyes have pupils in them.
Mhm.
Like usually when you see like those big like black like reptilian eyes, you don't see pupils. It's just like glassy. And here you can see the pupils like moving around inside. So I thought that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, I mean, like as much as we kind of wish some aspects of the show were more up to par with what we were expecting, the animation has been top notch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with the storylines, like we were talking about this before we went live. The stories themselves and the individual episodes taken on their own outside of the events that are happening this season, none of them have actually been. I would say none of them have been bad. They just haven't added up to a great structure for what the season at least what we or I
Could
feel
be.
like the season could have been if it had been a little bit more focused.
I agree. Yeah, I think they needed, like you said, they have a mission now, and they needed to have direction before. Maybe it was the mission. I mean, it's kind of ironic that you were comparing it to Mandalorian, where it's like he had a mission. It feels like they don't, because they both saved a kid, and these guys are just aimlessly like, okay, guess we're just gonna figure it out, instead of being like, we gotta make sure the kid's safe, we gotta stay on the move, we gotta figure out what's going on with her. They're just like chilling, bringing her into dangerous situations with no form of protection. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I don't want to keep harping on it, but like at the beginning of last week's episode, they're coming back from a mission. And like that's that's how we find them is they're coming off their ship. They just completed a job. They walk into Sid's bar and Sid isn't there. And that sets up that episode. What was the mission that they were on? Like why like obviously it wasn't that important because we don't know what they were doing, but like just knowing that they're doing something that is meaningful in some way, even if it didn't tie into the overall plot of the storyline for that specific episode, would have helped. Like if they were out like looking for someone or something to help with something else, like that's all I like. Even just like one line would have made me happy about like furthering the rest of everything that's going on. And I don't know. It's just not that hasn't been there. But now, I feel like based off of this episode, the next two should feel like they're going to be a lot more focused. So I don't think we're going to have that same issue now. But going into season 2, I don't know how that's gonna work out.
Yeah, assuming there's a season 2, I am hoping they lean more into the multi-episode arcs that made Clone Wars really strong, or they follow what made Rebels strong with it being episodic and really, really lean into the backdrop of the Empire and having them be on the run and really hiding out from the Empire and finding stuff to do with that. Like I feel like they got to pick a direction and go with it. This whole they aren't making a decision thing is killing me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have been even okay with them not making a decision if each it's like we've got like the on Rylos, those 2 episodes were setting up those characters that you have seen in other series. If if the episodic episodes were more like if the entire season was episodic and not just like certain episodes here and there, but if it was all just like setting up the backdrop of what this era in the Star Wars universe was like, and we knew that's what it was. Like like each week we see a different aspect of the rebellion or being set up, or a different aspect of the Empire setting up to get us to where we were in episode 4. That would have been fine. That would have been fine. but just like this weird like piecemeal. Oh, hey, here's a couple of characters that you know. We're setting up their backstory. Here's another couple of characters that you know. And we're setting up their backstory. But here's a bunch of other stuff that's completely unrelated. It's just been kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't. And again, like I was saying, I can't say that the episodes are bad. It just unfocused.
Yeah, individually they're fun little episodes, but as a whole, it doesn't work as well as it could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. What else do you guys have anything else about this episode, or any other things that have been building?
I was just looking up the clone commando thing. Gregor is actually a clone commando, so his armor would have been the blue light thing. Oh,
nice.
So
very cool. I love that because when we saw Gregor in Clone Wars, he was not like he had lost his memory, but he didn't have his crazy voice or laugh yet, and he didn't have that at the start of this episode. And I almost wonder if that was on purpose, like he was trying to sound more natural, and then he's like, "Oh, defectives, okay, It's fine, whatever."
Right,
Because he just went full crazy Gregor, and I'm like, "Wow, we got that early, dude. All right."
I mean, it kind of makes sense if you're a teacher of troopers, can't show that weakness, I guess.
The troopers, having to train the troopers is what drove him insane, because he's like, "Why can't you hit a single target?"
Do you think he knows about the chip since he's been in contact with Rex? Rex.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we ever actually saw them interact, so it was really interesting that they are apparently friends. So I'd say honestly, maybe. The fact that he's not controlled by the chip, we know that he had it removed because we saw the scar. So
okay. I'm
curious if it's already out or if it was just not affecting him in the same way, either in a similar vein to Wrecker or just fully not at all affecting him, but they still removed it like to be safe.
Right. Toby S., thank you for joining us. He asks, what's the deal with the new armor? Also, who was the commando who was like more fierce? I guess the one in the brownish yellow armor.
That was Gregor, right?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Gregor is a named character, so he needs to be a little more fierce.
Yeah. Well, and the new armor. I'm assuming you're talking about the stormtrooper armor, because we learned that these were stormtroopers that were on the space, not clone troopers, and Gregor was training them to replace the clone troopers. What do you think was going on with the young clone troopers that Lama Su was walking out?
I'm really curious. Like, they made it a point for them to ask if they're still going to be soldiers. So I thought that was a really interesting choice. I think there's a lot of potential. I think it's all bad.
Yeah.
Little expendable little kids who are expendable don't tend to do well in the Empire. Let's just put it like that.
But they would be great spies. Who's gonna suspect a kid?
Everyone. Well, everyone knows what the clones look like, so I don't know how good
that's true.
spies
That's
they
true.
would be.
They all look the same.
They'll just be magicians. You'll just have the tricks of like they keep multiplying, God,
I can only imagine like a Children of the Corn type thing, where just like all these clone children just like take over this town.
That would be great. That I would watch that. Oh, here's what I was going to say. What's Rex up to? Can we like get an episode where we just follow Rex? Because he's going like got his little hood up and everything, and he's shooting at someone. Or I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I'm going to. I mean, I know we were talking about this a little bit before. I'm going to guess that we're going to see him in one of these next two episodes. That he's actually going to either come and help, or he's gonna do something.
He'll probably come in the last episode. They're probably gonna try to save him with no leader, and he's gonna hey, I'll lead you guys. Let's go.
Or Rex shows up after they've like finished it all.
He's like,
I brought everybody. Let's go.
Or it's like, oh, okay. He's like, okay, so I need your guys' help, and they're just like, really? We called you, buddy. Well, I was busy. but this is important.
Yeah, that clip reminded me of Mascanada in Last Jedi, where they just show her like doing something.
Oh yeah, they're just like, all right, well
I want to know that looks way cooler than this movie.
Right? She's like being a badass, and then she's like, "Go to the casino planet, find my contact," and everyone's like, rewind. Let's follow her instead."
and then they just completely screwed that up and didn't get the contact anyway.
Yep. They're like, let's not get the trusted contact. Let's hire this rando dude that we
That's
found
in
locked
jail.
up in jail.
Disney jail or whatever it is.
I mean, I guess to be fair, they were also in jail, so
I loved it. Like, they got put in jail essentially because they're klutzes.
I thought because they parked wrong.
yeah, it's parking enforcement.
They parked in a no parking zone.
I was literally.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, they left their ship on the beach, and then someone complained.
Jango Fett says that he thinks Rex is rescuing Wolf.
Man, if Rex is like getting Wolf, I'm gonna be so mad we didn't see that, because I feel like that's gonna be really interesting, because Wolf is a character who I think straight up was involved in killing his Jedi.
Nice.
Like, Wolf is way messed up and has like this weird need to report to the Empire, and huge distrust of Jedi when we meet him in Rebels. So I am gonna be really bummed if we don't see that actually play out.
I think it's kind of joking about this earlier, but I actually do think it would be kind of cool if like these last couple of episodes ended up with like this huge rogue clone army that was going in to save Hunter.
That'd be cool.
Or to take out Crosshair.
I just don't know that they have that many friends.
But they don't. But
yeah, the Regs aren't going to save them. Come on.
I guess it would be up to Rex to kind of put that together.
I mean, if they were going to have any clones save them, they kind of blew that when they didn't like help Hauser, and instead were like, okay, bye. Have fun. That'll work out well.
Yeah, you're on your own, buddy.
Quick,
you're good with this, right? You got this? Cool.
Quick, he's a great distraction. Let's go.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I just love Hunter like looks back and like thinks about it and then goes, nah.
Nah, he's cooler than Hunter. That's why. He's like, I don't want him to take my show.
He's like, do you see his hair? I can't compete.
I feel that.
That's why.
Like I can relate to that.
Hair right now. Hunter's like got the 80s hair, and he's like, nope, that's the 90s hair. Nope, we're not doing that.
Josh is like,
I can't do any of that.
Josh sees someone with like great hair in mortal peril, and he's like, you deserve this.
It's on you.
You're just more competition later.
That's how karma works, man.
Again, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I mean, I don't really have anything else I think to contribute to a discussion on this episode. You guys have anything else that you want to bring up? As I say that, Jango Fett says, as asking, do you think we may see Vader by the last episode of the season?
This season? No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Vader was great in season 2 of Rebels, and he had a fantastic little like button like scene at the end of Clone Wars, but it feels so disconnected at this point. They haven't talked about Anakin at all. We haven't seen the Emperor beyond that first episode. Like, I feel like if we're going to see Vader, it's going to be like assuming there's a season 2 and they really start amping up with trying to figure out what's going on with Omega and the Empire and everything. That's when I would imagine seeing Vader and maybe Cody and all those types of guys coming in.
I mean, honestly, I think it would be really cool if like we actually never saw Vader, but we just heard about what he was doing, like through the grapevine. Just this is what the Empire is up to. Vader is out doing this and doing this and doing this, so we need to do this. Like, make him responsible for why they're doing the things that they're doing, but never actually have a confrontation with him.
They could also show up at a place that like Vader and his
had just like decimated, or they were on their way there. They have to go and save someone before Vader gets there. Like that kind of stuff might be fun.
Yeah.
But at this point, I have no idea what season 2 is even going to be because we don't know where this season is going to end. It's like right now, I have, again, like I was saying at the beginning of the episode, I have no idea where this is going now.
Agreed.
Yeah, same.
Outside of saving Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be it. They're just gonna save Hunter, and I don't know.
I'm hoping for a really good setup for season 2, but I'm not counting on it anymore.
I feel like it's gonna be saving Hunter and maybe Crosshair.
I mean, what would be interesting to me, I think, is if in the final episode of the season they end up saving Hunter, but in the process lose Omega.
Yeah.
And then that
die?
No. Like she gets taken.
I don't think they're gonna do that. That seems a little extreme.
Omega's just like bleeding out. Go on without me. And they're all dead.
Didn't think they would shoot you. They're stormtroopers.
I mean, that's what she gets for not wearing armor.
They thought she'd be okay. Like I said, stormtroopers.
Parker's like, you were supposed to dodge the bullets.
JR Films thinks that we'll see Tarkin. I could see that happening.
We've seen him a few times, so I would be down with that.
And Toby S says the clone commando with the brownish yellow armor was Scorch. That's who he was talking about, and he was in the squad.
He's one of the commando clones. I don't think it's necessarily specifically that one though. So because there's different commando squads. So I don't know, because I think they showed Gregor also has that yellow kind of color to his armor. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But yeah, so unless you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring up or discuss regarding this episode or the show in general, I think I'm tapped out of things to discuss.
I think we covered it in our 2+ hour episode last week.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, pretty much all the stuff I was saying is exactly what I would be saying now, other than this episode actually started moving the plot forward, which is great.
You're right.
But everything else is pretty much the same.
I guess one more question, I feel like I already know the answer to this, is do you think it would have benefited from being a shorter season like The Mandalorian was?
Maybe. But I also think that it just would have benefited from having a tighter, not even necessarily smaller amount of episodes, but a tighter plan.
Yeah. Which I feel, I mean, it's not always the case, but now with shorter seasons, it gives them the ability to, it forces them to have a tighter plan because they don't have as much time to work with. So yeah, I don't know if that would have solved all of the problems that we've had with this season, but I think it would have fixed a couple of them maybe.
I mean, because I wouldn't have minded having 24 episodes where they're all different styled mercenary missions, and you almost have that cowboy riding in and out of town vibe where they're on the run. So that's why to me I don't say a shorter season would have fixed it. I just think if they had a plan where these guys had any sort of feeling of motivation, that probably would have helped.
Yeah, it's funny. Shay and I were discussing this earlier. There's a saying about movies that a good movie is never too long and a bad movie is never too short. And I feel like that kind of applies here a little bit too. It feels long because some of the not necessarily filler episodes, but
filler episodes
just didn't feel necessary or like they added anything. Like if they had added character development, like more character development, I think they would have been good. But it just felt like they didn't do anything for moving the story along at all.
Yeah, I mean they were fun for the most part, which I enjoy in the moment. But when I'm expecting a little, when you set up as many mysteries as this and storylines as this set up in the first few episodes, I expect payoff sooner than 3 months later or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know if Game of Thrones is the best example for this, but it was always, oh well, the dragons are coming, winter is coming, the dragons are coming, the winters are coming. People were constantly being like, when are we gonna get dragons? When are the dragons gonna come? But that was more anticipation because like people who were familiar with the books knew when they were coming, knew what was going on, knew what the deal with the dragons were, and what the deal with the White Walkers were, and how that was all playing out. People who were watching were like, it was all building up. With this, I kind of feel like there's no, like, they built something up a little bit, but then there was no additional building on it.
Yeah.
It was just like a setup with no cohesion, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah. So I guess that will do it for us for this week's episode of the Bad Batch Watch Along. Again, this was episode 14. Next week we will be on episode 15, and my phone is going to ask me what I'm doing for some reason. Bixby decided to turn on. I don't know, or Google, or whatever that was. So let's see. Tomorrow. Shut up. Let's say, no streams tomorrow. Saturday, we've got the regular Ranger shows, the regular Ranger wrap up, and the retro Ranger wrap up, where we are talking about the second grouping of episodes from Power Rangers Time Force, and the Sentai wrap up is now on Saturdays as well. They go live about an hour after the retro Ranger wrap up ends. Sunday, we have the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order and the Rick and Morty Smoke Along, which is always fun because who knows what we're going to be talking about on that show. Usually it's Rick and Morty, but a lot of times it goes in completely random directions because we're stoned. So
yeah,
whatever comes up. And I think that's really about it. We'll be starting all over again on Wednesday with Jamie and myself playing some Star Trek Online. When does What If start? That's August 11th.
Yeah, August 11th.
So the Marvel Watch Along will be back August 11th. Lower Decks starts on August 12th. So we and Caitlin, you'll be joining us for that. Have you watched season 1 yet?
I'm doing that next week.
I am excited to talk to you about that season and see how you felt about that. I don't know if you've watched it yet or not, but there was a trailer for Star Trek Prodigy, the Nickelodeon animated show.
Okay.
If you like the animation of the Bad Batch, you're gonna love this.
Oh, okay, cool.
It looks so good. The animation is being done by the same company that does the animation for the Troll Hunter series on Netflix.
Nice.
So it looks very similar, but I'm super excited. And then like Star Trek, we've got is just big this year too. So Lower Decks is coming up. Then we're gonna Strange New Worlds just wrapped production. Prodigy is starting later this year. They wrap production on season 2 of Picard and season 4 of Discovery. So that's a lot of content that we've got coming up.
Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel.
Yeah, so much stuff. Mission Star Trek is coming up too. April 8th through 10th. I want to say of 2022 in Chicago. I was looking at tickets. I think I'm going to buy them. They're only $150 for the 3-day pass, so that's not bad.
No.
But that's all. Another show. Check us out on social media. The _Illuminerdi on Twitter. The Illuminerdi.com on the web. You can find all of our information everywhere. If you're not following us here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to make sure you get notified when we go online. And I think that's it. Anything else to plug? I don't know. I don't think so. No, that's it. All right. So play us off, Shay.